untainted, fresh from the belly navel lint. You know what? I just love corn fritters. Don't you? There's just something about corn fritters, man, that just makes you feel full. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you probably don't want to talk about corn fritters or nothing like that. Hey, anyway, check this out. Listen to this.
Jim, I think that taking those drugs was a really bad idea.
What are you talking about? We haven't taken any drugs yet.
Oh my god. In that case, let's light up. We're gonna need them. We have an interesting specimen today. What you're seeing is an animation from the late 90s that was supposed to kickstart a short video series made by a Christian gospel group, the Gaithers. Well, more specifically, the son of one of the members. But it does have music from the Gaithers vocal band. This means that, yeah, this is our first religious atrocity. I know that religious alternative products have a very shoddy reputation, but not everything explicitly made to teach about religion or use religious themes is bad or cheaply made. For example, VeggieTales, which this is clearly trying to rip off, is really good. Also, as far as religion goes, they mention the Bible like 3 times, and that's it. If they didn't do that at all, I wouldn't be able to tell this had anything to do with religion. Now, I think that this is the Gaithers' first attempt at animation. It definitely wasn't their last. They made a thing called Gaithers Pond, which I might get to in the future. But this is undoubtedly the worst. It is probably the worst, I'll call it a drop pilot, that I've ever seen. It's a strange little monstrosity filled with some of the cheapest 3D animation that you will ever see. The camera angles are confusing, the models are horribly uncanny, and the framing is just baffling. All of this is sprinkled on top of one of the most incoherent stories that I've ever seen. I've watched this 3 times, and we're on the level of Tentacolino or My Life Me. I can barely tell what happened. And this is how it starts.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, all that is seen and unseen.
Oh dear, we're in for something big with this royalty-free music, aren't we? Oh, by the way, I hope that Comic Sans doesn't piss you off, because there's a lot of text in this thing, and it's all in Comic Sans.
And in the panorama that is the unseen, beyond the secret world of the insect, beyond the atoms that form the grass they hide behind.
Hey, do you want to speak up? I can't hear you over your music. And trust me, I don't need to hear this music. It's been used in literally every amateur space scene ever. And then, it happens.
Dorbees, everywhere I look I see Dorbees, rolling to and fro I see Dorbees.
Oh my god, what the fuck are those things?
Dorbees, everywhere I look I see Dorbees.
Okay, yes, but what are they? They look like little monsters that are going to eat my face. I don't know how they made spheres look this hideous, but it is a legitimate feat. If you're wondering, this was made in 1998. I know that this is a lower budget kind of thing, so I'm not expecting Toy Story, but this here is what CGI animation looked like in 1985. And even ignoring that, Beast Wars came out 2 years before this, and Reboot came out before that. And we can even add the aforementioned VeggieTales to the mix. But what really gets me is the camera framing. Half of the time, the camera is way too close to someone's face. If this was live action, you'd be able to see the people's pores. The characters are constantly filling the screen and it gets very uncomfortable, like they're right in your face. But ignoring all of that, what the hell are we actually watching? There's a small guy floating up and backwards, disco seizure lights, a fucking cow. Upon first glance, this might seem like unadulterated nonsense, and to tell you the truth, it is. But each of these snippets comes from the actual episode that we'll be watching. I'm not kidding. We might get an explanation for them, but I doubt it. But let's talk about the theme song itself.
Dorbees, rolling down the halls I see Dorbees, tiny little balls I see Dorbees. Why don't they go away?
Wait, what?
Rolling to and fro I see Dorbees. Why don't they go away?
Okay, Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Captain Planet, he's a hero. Dorbees, why don't they go away? You do know that a theme song is supposed to advertise the show, right? And make it, like, very appealing to the audience. Dorbees, why don't they go away? I'm trying to think how this makes any sort of sense. Well, maybe it's, like, sarcastic or something and they don't really mean it.
We really need it. Why
Well, fuck then! And I just love the cheap Photoshop title card. Wait, was Photoshop a thing back in 1998? We open up on what looks like a southern country farm. I suppose this guy here is supposed to be our framing device, giving us an introduction to the stories and the moral. Or not. And away we go! Or yes, here we are. I am legitimately curious, how do you fuck up the camera in an animated short? Especially here. All you needed to do was edit out a few seconds. It could be done in Windows Movie Maker.
How y'all doing? Now, allow me to introduce myself.
Hey, buddy. My eyes, they're up here. Why are you looking at my right hand? Ignore the knife for a while. When we talk to other people, we look them in the eye. It's only polite.
My name is Old Delta Dorby, and most people around here call me Delta. But you can call me Delta.
So, that's the first joke in this thing, and that is the highlight of the humor. It's gonna be a wild ride, I can tell.
Yeah, I've been living
Oh my god, take a step back. It's called personal space, buddy.
years, and I guess I've been playing this guitar for about 63 of those years.
Riveting. Can I go now?
Hey, Delta! Hey, man, come over here. You never guess what I found the other day when I was rummaging through a rancid pile of unwanted, untainted, fresh from the belly navel lint?
Okay, so what the fuck is that thing? Or, more specifically, what the hell is wrong with it? I think this Dorbee has got a few defects.
You know what? I just love corn fritters. Don't you? There's just something about corn fritters, man, that just makes you feel full.
That's actually a very rare scientific phenomenon. It's been scarcely documented, so I don't fault you for not knowing about it. It's called food. This thing goes on rambling for 2 minutes, by the way.
He's always around here someplace, and he is crazy.
I just love this. Still animation, Comic Sans font, the most uncanny version you can find of a bare-bones egg-shaped model with a background made in Microsoft Paint. I don't say this often, but I could do better. Hell, I probably could do better myself back in 1998, and I was 6 years old. So talking about how crazy Fleck is leads Delta here to the moral of making decisions. That's what this short is about, if you couldn't tell.
I tell you what it seems. You know, life in general always come back to making decisions. And not just any decisions, mind you. The right decision.
Delta, can we have a heart-to-heart, man to Dorbee? I'm watching Dorbees making decisions. I think it's too late.
Take my little ball friends, Jack and Mary Jane Dorby. Now see, Jack, that boy is a character, yes sir?
No, he's not. I could call him a caricature. He's a stereotype at best, with very little personality.
He's at school, but see, he really don't want to be there, no?
Pulitzer Prize writing right there. So, we get our first story. Remember, the moral here, if you can call it that, is about making the right decisions.
As you can see, the isolation of the parallelogram is
Oh shit, Mr. Douglas is on speed again. Never do that again.
What's really exciting about this is the fact that the sum of the total of all sides is 90 degrees.
Okay, well, first of all, sides of a polygon don't have degrees. The corners do. And all the corners of a triangle always total 180 degrees. You fucking drew a square there to showcase that one of the angles is 90 degrees specifically. And you did it twice to identical triangles for some reason. So, what I'm trying to say is, you're not making it seem like it's the right choice for Mary Jane and Jack to be there. If they're getting wrong information. I think that someone's kids just got into the recording studio. It's so jarring. They sound a lot younger than the voice acting we just heard. So Jack gives Mary Jane a ransom note. The two of them ask to see a nurse, and this whole short goes to Wonderland really quickly. What the hell is up with the lighting in this scene?
Code red. Escape attempt detected. Complete lockdown in T-3 minutes.
Okay, what the fuck? I don't know where to begin with this one. Let's start with the fact that this happened with them literally 2 seconds out of class. What if they really did have to go to the nurse? But beyond that, Considering that the school is literally trying to kill the kids who are escaping, it doesn't make it seem like it's a good place for them to be, for any reason at all. This is thinly veiled propaganda about the benefits of homeschooling, isn't it? Actually, I think it's trying to be a homage to the Indiana Jones and James Bond series. At the same time, Mary Jane even has a grappling hook. Then they run through hallways. I think they're trying to dodge booby traps, but it's too dark to see anything. Do you watch these things before you put them to air? Oh, and they run into a giant boulder that tracks them down. Like, the kids have magnetic microchips planted into their bloodstreams. What the hell am I watching? And then Jack becomes a ball and rolls away. You know, it's at times like this that I just want to turn this off and change it to something else.
Now, y'all.
Oh shit, not that! Anything but that!
Now, y'all, I hate to see them skip school. Yep, that always leads to trouble.
Yeah, I remember when little Jimmy tried to skip school and got his arm hacked off by some swinging axe blades.
And speaking of trouble, this is a young Dorby right here about to find some.
So, are Dorbees like Silent Hill creatures? This guy is Otto. He comes from Scandinavia, and because of that fact, apparently he needs new clothes. All of this is lost in a story about a drummer with one stick and a broken arm. I have no idea what Delta is talking about! Not only is it just rambling nonsense, it's barely audible, and all the words just run into each other. It'd be funny if it didn't go on for minutes on end. And the banjo twang in the background is not helping. Now we follow Otto. Shit, is that the Terminator? You know, I said that this was trying to cash in on VeggieTales, but I think I was wrong. I think we're watching a dystopian science fiction series. Think about it. There's a school that tries to teach kids literally wrong information and make them stupider. And if they don't want to listen to this propaganda, the school right up and tries to kill them. And once they finally get out, we've got the Terminator who's trying to blend in and probably track them down and finish the job. So Otto enters the clothing store. A curtain rises up and... What the hell? Oh, finally, thank God. The drugs are starting to kick in. What do you mean we still haven't taken any drugs? Apparently this is Diggs.
Hello, my brother Love. Welcome to Diggs Duds. Hit me with some skin. Thank you. I am Otto. I am looking for some clothes that will make me more discreet.
Now, I think that this is supposed to show how impossible that request is, but because everything in this animation looks like ass, it's not conveyed at all. And the plot of this story crumbles to bits because of it. And we've got ourselves a musical number.
You know, Otto, everybody knows that it's clothes that make the man. So let me break it down to you like this. You wanna look so groovy, like an actor in a movie.
Remember when I said that a Christian gospel group was behind this? Well, yeah, that's the Gaither Vocal Band. They've actually won several awards, including 2 Grammys. They've even been inducted into the Gospel Hall of Fame.
You go to Diggs, yeah, you go to Diggs. Shalom, if you're small or big.
So, what I'm saying is the music is the best part of this, and the only part that I consider good. And they should continue with their day jobs and never animate anything ever again. Because the animation that accompanies this, it's just wrong. Also, when this goes on forever, the guy on the sofa changes the channel back to Mary Jane and Jack. Oh my god, I knew it! We were in Silent Hill all along. Now that is a good twist. I can hear Harry Mason asking me right now.
Have you seen a little girl?
I don't know. So they come up to a haunted house, and Jack goes on and on about how they need to go into the house to prove that they're grown-ups. Then the sound cuts out. I don't know if it's just my copy, but right here, there is no sound. I don't think we missed anything important, though. I could follow the story as well as possible without this segment.
Says that it could be dangerous and we might get hurt.
You know, unlike the school with its pits and boulders. I guess that she's just feeling overly secure because they got rid of the flamethrowers last month. Then we get our next song, and I've got to say, it's actually pretty good. I kind of like this song.
Come on, Mary Jane. I mean, live a little. What do we got to lose anyway?
I don't know, Jack. That house still scares me.
Come on. You know, we're 8 years old. What do we got to show for it?
I mean, this song is hilarious as fuck. Just look at the visuals. The trumpeting squirrels get me every time.
Inside that scary old house might be our ticket in. I wanna be grown up. I ain't a kid no more. I was when I was 4. But that
half of the time Jack is facing away from the camera. And it all ends with this glorious helicopter giving them spotlights. And then at the end, there are these dancing flowers that show, yes, we have gone full Groovinians. You can find the full song on YouTube, and if you could stomach the, less canny visuals, it might be worth a watch on its own. Although the lyrics leave a lot to be desired.
No curlers, no hair barrettes. Doesn't matter if I get wet, 'cause now I'm on my own.
And look at that old house!
I wish I could, but, you know, the fog. Also, this is just a nitpick, but the Roman numerals at the end are wrong. The X should be before the V. And even if you did that, it would show that this is 1918. These are the Roman numerals that they should have used. Then, for some reason, we cut back to Otto and Diggs, and we see a bunch of pictures in Otto in what I believe is supposed to be ridiculous costumes. But I cannot, for the life of me, see what's supposed to be wrong. They just look as ridiculous as what he's already wearing, what everybody is wearing, including Diggs. And also, this back and forth, it really disjoints things. Usually in these compilation films, the stories are told one at a time. That is for a reason. It breaks the pacing and immersion if you do this. And speaking of which, the guy on the sofa changes the channel to a weird German access television show about a superhero named Mr. Poe and his sidekick Yogel, where they try to fight an evil French cow. The funny part is that you think I'm kidding.
Dorby German Access Television presents Mr. Poe und Yogel.
Who's the strongest Dorby in the world, who's loved by every boy and girl and yak? It's Mr. Poe und Yogel.
This is my favorite part of the movie because it's not a part of the movie. No, I didn't edit this in. And no, my friends and I didn't try to make a little something to make fun of Dorbees. This is in the movie as I found it. The movie literally stops to show us this full short about Mr. Poe and Yogel that has nothing to do with either of the other two stories, and it has nothing to do with the quote-unquote moral. It's like the movie got bored with itself. By the way, this Mr. Poe and Yogel thing, it's not a quick joke. It goes on for 6 minutes. I'm not kidding. Considering they were planning a full series out of this shit, I can't tell why they didn't wait on this one. Especially because if you remove this Mr. Poe and Yogel shit, its time length would be much more acceptable for a television pilot. But let's see what this interruption has for us. Maybe it's good.
Last time we saw a crime-destroying duo in the clutches of their evil nemesis, Dr. Derry.
Amumu.
Now Dr. Derry has captured Mr. Poe's trusty assistant Yogel and strapped him to his evil stretch machine.
You know, the thing with this is that the production quality is so bad that in moments like this, I can't tell if it's just an attempt at a joke or if they're trying to be serious and they're just that bad at it.
Oh, he will never find you this time. You see, my pasture is secured by electrical fencing and reinforced by ill-tempered chickens.
What do you expect me to say? I have literally no idea what the hell is going on here. To make things worse, the cow talks so quietly I can barely hear what he's saying.
Oh, well, I can understand that. I guess a hug is nice. It's somewhat refreshing.
I haven't felt this fucking confused since Tentacalino. That's some rendering right there. So what happens next is I have no fucking idea. Mr. Poe starts pulling random things out of his ass, while Yogel goes on singing.
No, can't touch it. Oh, no, can't touch that. Have a time.
And it's some of the worst that I've heard in quite some time. Obviously done on purpose. I'm sorry, but this just goes on, and at no point is it funny or even really interesting. I don't care what Mr. Poe is going to pull out of his ass. This all ends when Mr. Poe finds a power box. It gives him the options to push for world peace, push to end world hunger, and push to free Yogel. And with him being a superhero, and this movie about making the right choices and doing the right thing, he only presses the button to free Yogel. I think that this is supposed to be a joke, but I don't get it. It's never explained why he can't press them all. And it really shits on the idea of Mr. Poe being a superhero. And this whole movie about making the right decisions. Sorry, Yogel, but if the other choices are world peace and ending world hunger, your death could save millions. And that, unfortunately, would be the most moral solution.
There is always one thing that can stop a cow cold in his tracks.
That's deer, idiot! And with Mr. Poe having frozen the deer cow, Yogel runs and tips the cow over because why the hell not? Okay, so guess what happens next? Never mind, after this you won't be able to. Couch Guy changes the channel to a lava lamp. Hey, Couch Guy, We need to talk. We really need to have a discussion about this. We don't need you here! You can go home! We already have a framing device, and we don't need a second one. All you're doing is wasting shit and being distracting. And considering this lava lamp and you changing the channel to Mr. Poe and Yogel, you're actually bad at being a framing device. Speaking of which, the Dorbee on speed from the beginning pops out of the lava lamp and goes on a random tangent. So Otto goes on about how he's so happy that Diggs is being honest to hammer in the point that Otto hasn't been honest. Apparently, Otto doesn't look good in these clothes, and Diggs has been lying to him. I honestly could not tell. And of course, this gets Diggs to be honest. And he tells Otto that he looks ugly and he can't possibly make him look good, despite being the best clothing shop in town. That's the right and moral decision. Okay. And he tells him that he should only wear Swedish clothing, and that it's wrong to integrate into a society that you have emigrated to. Okay. Now that we're actually out of distractions, we can return to the actual story. And to our foray into Silent Hill. Okay, what's with the weird lighting effects in this short? Can't you control that in 3D editing programs? And here we have another scene where Dorbees tries to tell us jokes. At the same time, this is also a moment where they're trying to make the house seem dark and foreboding.
Hey, look! What? An astro ball! Oh, an astro ball!
What? Jimmy Hoffa Astro Ball? Is there some political subtext here? Because I have no idea what the hell this is trying to imply. That Jimmy Hoffa is an Astro Ball? Yeah, he's a guy who disappeared, but I don't get what they're trying to say. And the camera just holds on the sign. It's like pausing for laughter. Laughter that's never gonna come. Also, Elvis.
Hey, son, you got any nanners? Hey. Oh, baby, you close that door then. Trying to get my eat on.
Elvis in a haunted house wanting to eat bananas. Or maybe nanners is a type of drug that I haven't heard about. After this, I think I'm gonna try some. Jack tries to get them to climb up the stairs, but he falls down a hole with the Astro Ball. And of course, the only way to get him out is to go get help. Then this happens.
Today, 2 young students were caught trespassing in an old abandoned house. We here at Channel 2.3 feel their hurt, feel their pain, and feel their need. We feel their longing to be free. But they did skip school and disobey their parents, so I can't help but feel that somehow that they deserved it.
Kid might die, but because they skip school, they deserve it. I know that skipping school is bad, and it's a moral that you might want to hammer in, but you don't have to be this damn callous about it. Hey, the medical chart says that Jack is gonna need to get his legs amputated because of the damage from the fall. He landed on some nails and diseases are running rampant on his flesh. He's never gonna walk again. But because he skipped school, he definitely deserves it. A school that tried to kill him with a boulder. So Jack reunites with his parents, and everyone breaks into a show-stopping musical number that beautifully shows that they no longer give a shit.
Beam me up, Scotty. That's pretty neat, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry, you making a point. I didn't mean, hey, y'all, I'm sorry, y'all. Hey, kids, you know what? I'm just gonna...
Okay, I think that we're just about done here.
Like I was saying, life is about choices. And a good one, it ain't always easy to make. But if you pray to the good Lord, I mean really pray to the good Lord, He's gonna keep you on the straight and narrow.
Okay, so God wants me to stay in a school that is okay with killing me if I try to escape, and telling Swedish people that they look ugly if they don't want to wear clothes made by their own culture. Good to know. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get to work on a super secret project.
Rolling to and fro, I see Dorbees. Why don't they go away? Hey, Dorbees. Rolling down the halls, I see Dorbees. Tiny little balls, I see Dorbees. Why don't they go away?